Good evening. Tonight I have the distinct honor of introducing Congressman J.C. Watts, Jr., one of the great patriots of the historic Republican Revolution of 1994. Since retiring from Congress in 2002, Congressman Watts is now the founder and chairman of J.C. Watts Companies. He is a regular analyst on CNN and a frequent guest on national radio shows. He serves on the boards of AfriCare, the Boy Scouts of America, and the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. He also created the J.C. and Frankie Watts Foundation to focus on urban renewal and other charitable initiatives. When in Congress, Mr. Watts was elected to serve as chairman of the Republican Conference. In his leadership position, Watts provided daily counsel to the Speaker of the House and participated in biweekly meetings with the President of the United States. He is a graduate of the University of Oklahoma, where he quarterbacked the Sooners, leading them to 2 consecutive Big 8 championships and MVP-earning Orange Bowl victories. In 1997, Congressman Watts was selected to give the Republican response to President Clinton's State of the Union address. Congressman Watts summed up the Republican response to the President's speech quite effectively, reminding Americans the State of the Union really isn't determined in Washington, D.C. It never has been, and it never will be. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Congressman J.C. Watts.
Thank you very much. Thank you. David and Cpac, thank you all very much. I'm delighted and honored that you all would think enough of me to extend an invitation for me to come and to be with you this evening and to see some old friends and to make some new friends. Anytime I can be in the company with Cleta Mitchell, I just think life just can't get a whole lot better. So it's good to see you tonight. Cleta and I are from the same home state, Oklahoma, and she was a state representative, and I just thought that I had arrived politically back in about 1994, 96 when Cleta chose to endorse me for the United States Congress, and I just knew that it was all going to be downhill after that. But I am delighted to see her tonight, and again, congratulations to the award recipients this evening, and I just think it's great what you all are doing here, and I have been a part of this on a couple of different other occasions when I was in Congress, and it's good to see that there are still freedom-loving Americans all across the nation, and I'm delighted to this evening to be in your company. As Bob mentioned to you, I stepped away from politics after the 2002 cycle. I had said that I was going to run for 6 years. I ended up running for 8. But after 8 years, it was time for me to move on and to go and to be a dad and to be a granddad and make memories with my grandkids. And I have literally done that in the last 6, 7 years, Bob. And it was interesting, Chairman Steele, when I first ran, my youngest was 4 years old. And that 4-year-old today is a freshman at the University of Tulsa and student athlete, University of Tulsa. And I've got a daughter that's a sophomore at the University of Oklahoma, so I've got 2 kids in college that I am paying tuition for. And as a matter of fact, you are looking at a real live United Negro College Fund right here. But they're doing well, and I'm getting to do things with my wife that when I was in Congress, and Bob and anyone that's ever served in Congress knows that, Congress, public service just consumes. If you want to do it well and try to be effective, it just consumes everything that you do, and you're faced every week with those decisions, whether or not to, take up the commitment with family or go and do something congressionally, and just the nature of the beast for me is that about 85% of the time the congressional responsibilities won out. And so my wife is, we are being able to go to the movies in the middle of the week and not having congressional responsibilities. And I am still getting to preach about 10, 12 times a year around the country somewhere. So, you know, if I complained about life, I would seem ungrateful. Things have gone well for this old kid since I left politics. And I said to my wife when I retired from Congress after the 2002 cycle, I said, you know, I've had a wonderful 8 years. I've seen, you know, 47 different states. I've made, you know, friends on the Republican and the Democrat side, actually, and I've made some wonderful friends. I've gotten to walk the halls of men like Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, chairman at some point in time in their careers. They walked some of the very halls that I walked, and it was just a wonderful 8 years. But I said to my wife when I was about 30 days from leaving, I said, you know, if God gave me only 8 years to live, I want to live them as a member of Congress because they've been the longest 8 years of my life. And so I still get a chance to see my colleagues from time to time when I'm on the Hill, and I have said to them, they asked me, do I miss them? And I said, can you see through that? That's about how much I've missed you guys. And I think I see Tom Price down here, so Tom can relate to how long the days are and how long, how you know, trying it can be in terms of trying to manage time. But I am delighted to be with you tonight. I was elected in that 1994 class when Republicans, for the first time in over 40 years, became the majority party. And you know, we had a freshman class of some great members, and I remain friends with many of those people today, and some of them are still on the front line of service in the United States Congress and gubernatorial posts around the country, and the House and the Senate. And I really did have a wonderful 8 years. But in 1994, there was an energy that we brought to Washington with the contract with America, friends that we've not seen in some time. And it was interesting what we came into Washington with in 1994 and was sworn in 1995, and then where we are today. And I would be blatantly dishonest with you if I did not say to you that where we are today, Republicans, we have as much fault in where we are today as the Democrats do. I recall for 7 years, I worked to get reforms with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, stating that if ever there was a blip in the housing market, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would destabilize the greatest economy in the world. I had Republicans/conservatives that said to me, we like them the way they are, said we don't want any more regulation. I had Democrats that said to me, it will affect affordable housing. It was collective neglect on the parts of both parties. And friends, let me tell you something. I found out in an extremely short period of time. In Washington, we love to grade our own test. And if you grade your own test, I can assure you this, you'll always make a good grade. And I have seen just in the last 7, 8, 9 months how the American people all over the country through tea parties and through town hall meetings, they are rising up and saying, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we're not going to take it anymore. And I'm not here tonight to talk to you about as a Republican or as a Democrat, as a conservative, as a liberal. I'm not here to talk to you with any of those tags attached to my name. I don't need your votes. I don't need your money. I just need your ear.